Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timmy Kemza James. For the new subscribers, you're welcome. For our old timers, you're also welcome, and I love you both. Thank you so much for staying tuned with me. So today I'm going to be showing you how to join or how to sew or how to couple a peplum blouse with a princess dart. So in a previous video I've taught on how to cut that, so in case you've not seen that video, I'm going to be linking it in the description box below. And also I have a video where I showed how to add a crinoline or horsehair braid to a peplum, so you can go over there and check. I'll be linking it in the description box below. Also, I also taught on how to add lining to it and everything, so you check that, then all this one will all make sense to you. So I've gone ahead to cut my lining pieces for my blouse. I'm going to be lining it fully, so I've gone ahead to cut my lining pieces. And this is the neck piece, where we said the neck part of it, or the upper bodice, is going to be having a lace instead of the fabric, so it's just like an illusion neckline. So let's get into the sewing proper. So guys, first I have my front pieces that I've gone ahead to add interfacing to it, or wording. This is a very light or very soft wording. This is the softest of all wordings that I added to the front piece, just around the bust area. I added it to the three front pieces, that's the center front and the side front. You can see I just ironed them on it, just to give that play structure and make it flattery. So that's why I added it. It's totally optional. And then I'm also going to be adding a breast cup. You can see also going to be adding this. It's just for structure. You can add or you can omit, whatever you want. So I would start by joining my front pieces. This is my lining piece. I'll keep it outside. Then I'll pick my center front and one side front. Then I'll place them together, right side facing each other like this. Put on my machine. Then I have my right side facing my right side. I'll start sewing from the lower part, not on the top side here. I'll start from the lower part so that everything can align properly. Then I'm going to be sewing with 1/2 inch sewing allowance like that. Then this cut here, this line here, you ensure it matches on the side seam and the center piece. That's the under bust line. You make sure it aligns. When you get there, you stop, you move your foot up a bit, then you turn this side. You make sure, then you're going to be sewing to ensure that you go through this curve that's on the bust area properly. So I'm just going to be following the curve gently. I'll be moving. Sorry, I ran out of the lower fabric, so I'm just going, the lower thread, that's my bobbin, so I'm just going to add another one and continue. So I'll do that again. 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Then I'll sew to my under bust point. On the under bust point, when you get to the line, you stop. Then you raise your foot so that you can arrange this properly. You make sure all your edges are matched properly like this. I'll now sew with the same 1/2 inch, following the curve. I'll be taking the lower part of it, that's the center front. I'll be shifting it backwards and be moving the side piece that I'm sewing forward. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to align everything together. So like so. Cut out any thread. When you're done, you cut out your thread. So here you go. You can see this is our bust side and it's coming out nicely. Here is the seam allowance, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut through the under bust allowance, I'll cut it like that, not cutting through the seam. I'll cut this part of it too, cut this side also, just give it a good snip so that when you iron it, it comes out properly. Then I'll pick the other side front, face it on the center piece. I'll grab that one to join it. The same thing I did, I'm going to be sewing on 1/2 inch sewing allowance up to my under bust line. Then I'll stop. This wording stopped at the under bust line, so that's another way to know where your under bust line is. So I'll just raise my foot up. This is my foot, in case you don't know. Then connect everything together. As I'm raising, I'll be moving, sewing round. I'm moving my lower fabric forward and the center piece backward, just like I did to the other side. I'm going to be doing the same thing, making sure everything aligns properly. Back stitch at the end of the seam. Go ahead and cut through or snip through my sewing allowance. So this is our front piece. This is the bust area. You can see it's already protruding nicely. I'm just going to go ahead and open press it using the tailor's ham. I'll open press all my seam nicely, then I'll come back and show you. Here is our front piece. I've gone ahead to open press, you can see. So I'm going to keep this aside. Then I'll insert my dart on the back fabric. You can see here's our dart allowance. So I'll fold that and insert our dart. Back stitch at the beginning and the end of every seam. So guys, here are my pieces. I've inserted my darts on the back piece, and I've gone ahead to add breast cuff. I'm going to have another video where I'll show you how to insert this breast cuffs. So I've done the same thing to the lining pieces. I've added my darts on my lining pieces, and I've joined the front side of my lining piece. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll be joining my front side and my back side together like this. Get my tape. Remember, we have 2 inches sewing allowance, so I'm going to take that 2 inches sewing allowance. I'm going to sew on my sewing allowance 2 inches, joining my front piece and my back piece together with that 2 inches sewing allowance. All your excess thread anywhere you find them. So here's the bodice put together. Now I'm going to add that lace piece. I'm going to go ahead and grab the lace. This is the front piece for the lace. So I'm just going to look for right side, facing right side. I'll match the middle point. like this. So here's the midpoint of the Ankara. I'll match them together. Then from the midpoint, I'll just sew using about a centimeter or less this to sew that. Just going to sew by 1 centimeter like this, with my right side facing my right side. Turn it over, then from the midpoint I'll sew the other extreme. You see, here's our lace. The front side has been added on the lace. I'll go ahead and add the back side of the lace. So here's the back side. So this is not for that side. There we go. This is our zip allowance. It will be on the zip side. The zip side of the lace will be on the zip side here also. So we'll just connect from the armhole side. Using about a centimeter or less to join that. Do the last side, the other back. The zip side will match the zip side. Sewing with about a centimeter of sewing allowance or less, and that's because I'm coming to add my lining. So here we go. This is our back side, one of the backs. Here's the front side, then the other back side. Now I'm going to add my lining piece to this, then I'll come and join the shoulder for you to see. So here we have our lining piece. I've gone ahead to join it just like I joined my bodice, with the exception of the lace. I don't have the lace on the lining piece, so I'm going to join the lining piece to the lace now. So to the main fabric. So I'll just turn this over. I'll start from this back piece here. Turn this over like this. The right side, then you fold the lace over like this. Then you get the back piece of the lining piece that aligns with that one. Then on this sewing allowance that you joined the lace and the fabric, I'm just going to go ahead and join the lining also. So I'm sandwiching the lace in between the fabric and the material. So the fabric piece, the right side is going to be facing the right side, so all right side will face each other. So I'm going to be sewing with 1/4 inch of sewing allowance So now the wrong side is facing me, the right side, the both right sides are facing each other. Just going to go ahead and sew using 1/4 inch sewing allowance. I'll make sure I'm not taking out any lace where I'm not supposed to. I'm not sewing any lace where I'm not supposed to be sewing. So I'll just go ahead and do that. I'm using my fingers to feel the lace and smoothing out the lace also. Back stitch at the end, then come over to the front side, to the front panel. I'll do the same. This excess I have on the fabric, I'll just chop it off on the lining. Then I'll just do the same thing to the center side of my blouse. Mark it out properly. Make sure all your sewing allowances align. Your center mark aligns. Just make sure everything is aligning properly. If it doesn't align, it means you took more or less sewing allowance from a point where you're not supposed to. So you just check that, loosen that place and sew it properly. So mine is aligning, which means I'm good. Then you do the last back piece. It is very important that everything aligns, and it's important that if you're using 1/2 inch sewing allowance, you use that all through. If you're using less than 1/2 inch, you use the same thing all through. So here we have it. So this my seam allowance, I'm just going to cut through it. Guys, I'll just snip. Then after snipping like this, then I'll open it over to top stitch. You can omit this, you can just iron it out, but I like going the extra mile. It makes everything neat and nice. My lining, this will help my lining piece to lay clean inside without pushing out. All my seam allowances will go over to my lining piece. Which will make it stable. Make sure you're not sewing on the lace. So that's why I'm raising it up to check and ensure I'm not sewing on the lace. Because if you do that, you have a big problem, because this lace is very fragile. So losing it out is usually a big problem. Be sure that you're not sewing on the lace. So when you turn it over, you see, here we go. You see, even the inside part is neat, the outside is neat. So I'm just going to go ahead and press this properly, flip all of them, press them, and come back to show you. So here we have our upper side. I've just closed the lining and the fabric together. I made a stitch to close it together like this. So I'm going to join the peplum side to the bodice. So I'm just going to be placing the right sides, facing right sides, and then I'm sewing on the wrong side of the fabric. I'm just going to do that and go round all through. So using that 1/2 inch sewing allowance that we left. So guys, I've gone ahead to insert my zipper. You can see this line is aligned, this net side is also aligned, as the lace part is also aligned. My zipper is lying neatly. So I'm just going to turn this over, close this, and then I'm going to use a bias tape to finish up the neckline. Then I'll just go ahead and close the zip. I've changed my thread to white, so I'm just going to flip it over, then just going to sew the shoulder line like so. I'm going to be overlocking this part, so you don't have to worry about it. Join the second shoulder like so. Cut out any excess thread, then I'll turn it over to show you. So here we go, our blouse is ready. So I'm just going to be fixing the sleeves off camera, biasing the neckline off camera to come and show you, because I'm going to be having a video where I will teach you how to cut and sew a sleeve. So here we go. This is our blouse. You can see it's pretty, you know.